Next up, we're going to take a look at notification and alerts here in the admin panel. And that section is available if we scroll down here below our content area. You can see this is where all of our settings with regards to notifications live. So let's click on this first one here, notification and newsletter settings. So we'll take a look at the newsletters later, but first I want to take a look at notification settings for our users. And just as a reminder, in one of the previous videos, we took a look at people's personal notification settings, right? So this is when they open up their profile menu, click on settings, they can decide here for which actions they perform, should they start following content, which content do they want to automatically follow, and in which cases do they want to receive email notifications. So this is something that your users will be able to customize and decide for themselves. As an administrator, however, you are at any point in time, you are able to update those settings for your entire user base. You can also decide what the new users, anybody new who joins the site, what should their default notification settings look like. So let's take a look at that first. Both pages will look very, very similar. Defaults for new users, I'm going to open this up and we can see the exact same options that we saw in my personal notification settings page there. So just check or uncheck whatever options you feel are best for your user page, and then just click on save at the very end. One other option that's available here in this settings page is this one at the very top. Toggling between viewing or not viewing archived content is again something that every user can decide for themselves. In here, you can just choose as an administrator whether what the default behavior is going to be for new users, right? Are they automatically going to view archived content, or is the archived content going to be hidden automatically? This is for new users. Now I can do the same thing or a similar action for existing users. So these are all of the people who are already on the site and have their notification settings already specified. Now what I can do here is search for individual users, individual groups of people. So for example, everybody in the marketing team, right? Or if I wanted to change the settings for all of my staff, everybody who has access, I can just look for all registered users. So this is everybody who has an account here. I'm going to click on continue. And as you can see here, all of these boxes are unchecked currently. So it looks a little different from the previous page. But what we can do here is as we select all of the settings we want to modify for all of our existing users, we'll see what those values currently are, right? So I'm going to select all of the users, what they are going to automatically start following. You can see that all of these settings are currently on. If I wanted to turn some of them off for all of my users, I can just do that by using these sliders here. Same thing happens, of course, for the email notifications. Again, all these are on. I can slide some of them to the other value if I want to. When I'm done reviewing all of this information, I can click on update and it's going to automatically update every single user's settings to the ones that I've specified here. So that's a very nice and easy bulk action that you can do from the notification and newsletter settings. Now the email newsletter settings, that's the third option in this area. This is where you can decide whether or not your staff should get a daily or a weekly newsletter that is automatically generated from the Thought Farmer intranet. Right now in this intranet, we have the daily ones turned off and the weekly email newsletters turned on. So let's turn the weekly newsletters off and the daily ones on. You'll see just that there's a few more options that pop up for each of these, right? You can choose which time of the day you want to send these out, how many items should be in there. Remember that both of these email newsletters are automatically generated, so you can't actually edit the content of them. What will happen is for each newsletter that goes out, it's going to put customized content for that specific user in the email. Right? Content that they follow, content that is very popular, content that has a lot of views. It will look a little bit differently every day or every week. Next, we're going to move on to search. And search here is our last setting on the left-hand side on the admin panel. Let's start with our search settings. Now, when you first open this page, you're going to see that it can be fairly overwhelming. There's a lot of different tabs here, a lot of different configurations for your search and the way your search works on ThoughtFarmer. Now, the good news is, for the most part, you can ignore anything in here, right? You'll see certain sub options in here that have mysterious numeric values associated with it. We usually advise everybody to just leave those as they are. You don't need to edit them. If you ever run into an issue with the way that your search is working on your ThoughtFarmer side, the best option is to contact our support team and just explain what the issue is, and then we can always go in here and modify any of these values if they need to be changed. Now you'll notice here there's like a best bets mention, and that's something I wanted to take just a bit of a closer look at. I'm just going to pop out of here again, and you'll see that it has its own dedicated area here in the search menu. Right? Click on best bets. Now what best bets is a way for you to highlight certain pages or certain content in your search results. Things that you know people look for very often. For example, a page that has all of your new hire information. What you can do is take a look at all of the different keywords or phrases that your staff will use to find this page, and making sure that for whenever somebody puts in any of these keywords, the new hire information is the page that's going to be top of the search results. So as an example, if I type in new employee and I hit enter, you're going to see that on this internet, the new hire information is highlighted at the very top, right? It's treated a little bit differently. It stands out more than the other search results. It's called recommended. That is exactly what a best bet is. So if we go back to our admin page here, you can see we have a number of best bets in place for this internet. New hire information, anything that people search for that's related to HR news, a specific department or location group, right? So you can add as many as you want. Adding a new best bet is very easy. Just click on this button, and then you will first select the page that you want to highlight, right? So let's just use my profile page as an example. And then any phrases that people will search for to find that specific page. So let's just put in my title, click on add, right? So now anytime somebody's going to use this term, my profile page will be highlighted and suggested as, you know, the recommended page for that specific search term. Now, the last thing I wanted to show you in the search terms or the search settings is this search terms option. What this does is it gives you an overview of all of the search keywords or phrases that your staff is putting into the internet, right? Like, what are people searching for? As an internet manager, it gives you a really good idea of the content that people are wanting to find on the internet. For this one, let's just put in a bit of a bigger time range. So I'll go from May 1st to today. I'm gonna click on search, and now it gives me all of the different or most popular terms that people are searching for. Contractor, as you can see, is the more popular one. 3 times this page has been searched for, and then if you open it up, you can see the top 5 pages that people have accessed after putting in this search term, right? So it gives you not only an idea of what people are searching for, but also where they end up in the site after putting in that specific search term. So again, it's a bit of it provides some insights for you as the internet manager into what people are wanting and where they end up on the site. And it can guide you for further content improvements or navigation improvements on your internet.